Souls don't exist, just brain activity. That was a comment left on this video.
Everyone who passes away does not pass away alone. Doesn't matter if you pass in a tragedy, if your death was something that you've known about for the past couple weeks. Doesn't matter if you pass away in your sleep overnight. What I can tell you is that nobody, and I mean nobody, passes alone. The moment that someone is getting ready to transition on here in this world or pass away, something happens. Immediately, souls in heaven are alerted that someone here on earth is going to pass.
Everyone has their own belief as to what happens when we die. There are people that believe scripture holds all the answers. There are people that believe just the scientific portion of it, of when our brain dies, we die. And then there are people that believe that our consciousness lives on forever. You know how energy can't be created or destroyed, that our energy, our consciousness goes on to live in a different form without our bodies. But here's the thing, is that those are all just beliefs that people have. We don't actually know what happens when we die. No one has the answers. And so you can see that there are people who want to believe that something happens when we die, that we do go on to live in a different form, which is something that I believe in because I want that to happen. And I guess sometimes I have a hard time believing that there are people that actually believe that nothing happens when we die, that this whole life that they've lived and struggled and formed bonds and have loved ones and all the experiences that they've had just mean nothing, that just kind of disintegrate into nothing. I find it hard to believe that. And so at that point, I have to believe that comments that are made like that are made on purpose. You know, hurt people hurt people. I feel like that's what happens because I can't imagine no one wanting something to happen when we die, for us to reconnect with our loved ones after we die. And look, I don't think people are trying to be cruel 100% of the time. I do think that a lot of it has to do with not wanting to get their hopes up in case the afterlife doesn't exist. So that's why a lot of the times I don't believe that it has to do 100% with cruelty, but a lot of it has to do with their own beliefs or their own lack of belief. When there are people on a semi-viral video pouring their heart out, saying that happened to my mom, she saw my grandmother. I even said it in the video where I had the experience where my dad saw his dad before he passed. My uncle saw his father before he passed. So when people are pouring their hearts out like that, I do believe there is this cruelty part of people wanting to go on and kind of dishearten people. They want to go on and kind of burst everyone's bubble. And that's sad in and of itself. Instead of saying, hey, this is what I believe. No, they go on and they're just like, this happens, that happens, brain activity, no souls, blah, that's it. So that's what I was wondering. It was a genuine question of, do people actually believe that there's nothing after this life? That all the experiences are for nothing, the bonds they've created are for nothing, that they're just isolated to this life and that's it, that everything just goes black and that is it. In any case, I am going to go through a bunch of recommended books about the afterlife in my next video.